I welcome you all to the second session of this series. Before we dive into the lecture, as you must know, in the first lecture we got introduced to the Photoshop workspace. Then we learned about the basic tools like the Move tool, Text tool, Rectangle tool, Brush, Eraser, Zoom and Hand tool. We also learned how to create, open or save a new file. And in the end, we understood the difference between save, save as and save a copy. Now in this session, we will start with some more tools which we will use in this and the next session. Then in the second half, we will see the essential things you need to understand before you start color grading. And in the third half, we will edit one landscape and color grade it. We will learn how to edit photos in Photoshop. I will name them a traditional Photoshop way of doing things. But as you know, generative AI and unique filters have made our lives so easy. In the future, we might use them even more than human skills. So we will of course see how to edit an image with traditional Photoshop ways, but at the same time, I will highlight some tips about how machine learning has made that procedure so straightforward. In this session, our primary focus will be on color grading. But before that, I want to give a short overview of some tools. So in the tools panel, we will start with some of the tools used for selection purposes. First on our list is the Pen tool, which is essential even in animation and video editing. The Pen tool in Photoshop is like a digital pen that lets you draw precise and smooth shapes or paths. You can either click on this toolbar here or press P. So shortcut for the Pen tool is P. After pressing P, you just have to click to create a point, like I am doing right now. And the tool connects this point with the lines to create shapes or outlines. It's excellent for creating selections, tracing objects or making precise shapes. Think of it as a versatile drawing tool that helps you create detailed and accurate lines and shapes in your image. Next is the Lasso tool. You can get the Lasso tool by pressing L for lasso, or clicking this tool icon. The Lasso tool is like digital ropes you use to select parts of an image. There are three main types of Lasso tool. First is the basic Lasso tool, which is like a freehand rope. You draw a selection outline by clicking and dragging around the area you want to select. It's great for selecting irregular shapes. Then there is a polygonal Lasso tool. This tool is like a rope made of straight segments. You click to create points and it connects them with straight line. It's useful for selecting objects with straight edges. And finally is the magnetic Lasso tool. Imagine this tool as a smart rope that automatically snaps to the edges of objects. You start clicking along the edge and it sticks to the object's contours. It's handy for selecting objects with well-defined edges. Now if you are a bit lazy to work with a pen or lasso tools, then there is one quick and easy tool for you. That is Quick Selection tool. This Quick Selection tool is an easy way of selecting a specific part in your image, and you can get it by pressing W. So the shortcut key for Quick Selection tool is W, or find it here in this toolbar. It automatically finds and follows the edge within the photo. But remember, this tool is efficient mainly on the image, which has well-defined boundaries. Let's say your image has multiple colors, shades or tints. This tool will need clarification. Then it might misbehave or malfunction. It targets the pixels, and here I have one question for you. What is the pixel? Why is this word so popular in the world of images and photography? In simple words, a pixel in photography is like a tiny square of color that creates a picture when many of them come together. Each pixel can be a different color, and they all work together to make up one image you see on your camera or screen. So in photography, pixels are the building blocks that form the pictures you take or view. Now let's come back to our tool. This Quick Selection tool works by selecting pixels by pixels. You can adjust the size of the Quick Selection tool by using keyboard shortcut key bracket, just how we change for brush tool. Left bracket for minimizing it and right bracket for maximizing the size of that tool. You just have to pick the quick selection tool and then click and drag to select the part in the image. It will automatically follow the edges within the image. If you want to deselect something, then simply press the Option or Alt key and you will see this plus icon becomes a minus sign, and like this you can deselect the object. Remember, for a fine selection it is best to use the zoom tool, and you can scroll over the image by using hand tool, that is by pressing spacebar, correct. Now let's move on to our following tool, that is dodge tool. Think of this as a tool that will make things brighter. It's like shining a flashlight on specific areas of your image. You can find the dodge tool here in the toolbar or by pressing O to get it. Dodge tool lets you lighten or brighten specific parts in the photo, making them stand out more, something like this. At the same time, this burn tool is precisely the opposite of dodge tool. It's like shading or darkening. It's as if you are casting a shadow on part of your image. When you use the burn tool, you can darken or add shadows to specific areas of a photo, making them appear deeper or more dramatic. These tools are often used in photo editing to enhance or adjust the brightness or darkness of specific areas in your image, helping you create more contrast and depth. The next tool in our list is the spot healing brush tool. The spot healing brush tool is like a magic eraser. It lets you easily remove small unwanted things like blemishes or small objects from a photo. You just click on the spot you want to remove and it magically disappears like this, blending into the surrounding area. It's great for quick touch-up, but the logical reason behind this magic is that it takes the pixels around that point that you want to remove and just copy and paste them on it. In the same tool, there is this hidden tool called patch tool, in which you can replace some portion of your image with another portion of that same image just by selecting the area you want to replace and dragging it onto the desired area like this. Isn't this interesting? You can try it out. There is one addition in the recent Photoshop version, that is the remove tool, with the help of which you can remove the object just by dragging over it like this. And in a few seconds your object is disappeared. Can you see how nicely this tool helps you in removing the things? Now let's get started with color grading. But before color grading an image, there are some essential elements of the color that you need to understand. Basically, color has three attributes: hue, saturation and lightness. Hue in simple terms is what color, saturation is how many color in that color, and lightness is brightness of that color. It's a bit confusing, right? Let's try to understand this in more detail. Actually, hue refers to the pure color in the color wheel. For example, red, blue, green and yellow are all distinct hues. Adjusting the hue changes the actual color. It's all about picking a different color while keeping things equally bright and colorful without changing shades, tint or any other property. Oh wait, now what is tint and shade? Shade is adding black to a color to make it darker, and a tint involves adding white to a color to make it lighter. Now let's see what the term temperature is in the Photoshop. Temperature refers to the overall warmth or coolness of the colors in an image. Think of it like adjusting the colors to make them feel either warmer, more yellow or red, which gives a cozy or sunny look, or cooler, more blue, which gives a calm look. So changing the temperature is like giving your photo a different mood by making it feel warmer or cooler. Now in Photoshop, there is this significant term called saturation. Saturation is like the volume control for colors. When you increase saturation, you make the colors more vibrant and intense, like turning up the volume of the song, When you decrease saturation, you make the colors less vibrant and more muted, like turning down the volume. There is one tip for you. While clicking a photo in camera, people often ignore capturing the image in RAW format and end up taking that photo in JPG format. However, there are a lot of differences between JPG and RAW formats in terms of gaining details of the image and many more. In Photoshop, you can work with both RAWs as well as JPG files, but RAW files offer more editing possibilities because they preserve the original data. RAW files are like unprocessed film negatives. Though RAW formats photos are larger in size, however, they give you more flexibility in editing because you can make significant adjustments to things like exposure, color, and white balance without losing the quality. In contrast, JPG has limited room for adjustments due to the compression applied during saving. They are compressed and processed version of the image that the camera software creates. Editing a JPG too much can lead to a loss of image quality. Now, there is one more term like vibrance. Vibrance is like a smart version of saturation. When you adjust vibrance, it boosts the intensity of colors that are less vivid without overdoing the already bright ones. It helps you make the colors in your photos looks more lively and vibrant without making them too extreme. Lastly, I will talk about contrast. Contrast is like the difference between the bright and dark areas in a photo. When you increase contrast, the bright parts get brighter and the dark parts get darker. This makes the image look sharper and more defined because there is a strong distinction between the light and dark areas. Decreasing contrast does the opposite, making the image look softer and less distinct. So adjusting contrast is all about making your picture's details and colors stand out more or less. Now let's start with color grading. But why do we color grade? Why does even a photographer who has already spent thousands of bucks taking photographs or making an environment to get better photos spend so much time and resources to edit or color grade that photo? Hold on, answering this question in one line might be unfair. So let's understand that by actually editing one image. So we will start with color grading on this landscape. The very first step is we will duplicate this background layer by pressing Ctrl plus J. Now on this duplicate layer, you will have to identify the colors in the image. This area of grass, some trees and hills are green, whereas the sky is completely burnt out. So don't worry, we're gonna replace the sky. And this area is orangish. So our first step is to make the colors more prominent. And how to do that? By going to adjustment layer, solid color adjustment. Now we want to feel the green color in the grass. By the way, this is the color picker tab. In this H stands for hue, S for saturation and B stand for brightness. When you select hue, that time you can change the hue. That means changing from one color to other color by this rectangular slider. Whereas you can change the other two factors like saturation and brightness from here. When you press on the saturation, that time you can change the saturation from this rectangular slider, whereas other factors can control from here. And the same for the brightness. Either there is complete bright color, some middle and no brightness, that means it is black. Okay, let's go back to the hue and let's choose the hue for the grass and for the tree, something like this. Hit OK. Now your next step is change the blending mode from normal to overlay. Alright, now double click at the right of this solid color layer. Here go to the blending options and in the blending option see the blend dip here in the underlying layer, not in the current layer but in underlying layer. So I will make the changes like this. I don't want this color to spread over any highlights, mountains. Yeah, This is fine. And now we'll spread this by pressing Alt or Option key and spread this slider like this. Hit OK, and we can decrease the opacity a bit, little bit, and some feel too. Okay, so this is the before and this is the after. Before and the after. Now we'll put some brown and orange color in this hill area. I'll take again solid color adjustment layer and I will put this brown color, something like this. Hit OK, and now change the blending mode from normal to overlay. Hit double click on it, and in the blend if option change it from like this. We just want that in our some highlight areas. Hit OK, and now opacity, you can decrease the opacity and fill too. That's fine, just something more. That looks okay. We can decrease the fill bit more. Opacity can say. So this was before, this is after. Now we'll put one more solid color adjustment layer of orange color, something like this maybe, and hit OK. Double click on it. Press Alt or Option key to make it smoother, like this. Just a little bit. Hit OK, and change the blending mode from normal to overlay like before. Now the opacity should be reduced and some feel. We'll just spread this by dividing this option also. Perfect. Now it is looking fine. We will group all these three solid color adjustment layers by pressing Ctrl G and name it solid layers. As you know, the sky do not have any details, so we will replace the sky. Select the layer, go to edit and press on the sky replacement. It will take some time to analyze. Amazing. Can you see the difference? You can select the different skies like this or this one not suiting my theme. This may not be. This, yeah, this looks fine. All right, I will make some changes in the shift. Brightness can also be reduced. Even the temperature can be, I can scale it up a little bit more, just a little bit. Fine, looks amazing. Now our next step will be to merge all these layers. And how to do that? Select all the layers which you want to merge and press Shift Ctrl Alt plus E. And this way we will get a merge and separate new layer which we can work on. But make sure you convert this layer to the smart object. And how to do that? By pressing right mouse key and say convert to smart object. It is converted to smart object. From this icon you can see. Now I will open the camera raw filters by going here to filters and camera raw filters. You will feel amazed to see that this camera raw filters gives you n number of options to work on your image. As soon as you open the camera raw filter, this will be the basic interface of it. Here, whatever the changes in the basics by maybe some temperature change, tint, exposure, contrast, highlight changes, these changes will be stick entirely on this image. But let's say we want to edit this grass or this tree or this hills or the sky separately, then there's one more option. That is, go to this third one, the masking one. Now firstly, I want to make some changes, color grading on the sky. I know we have borrowed this sky, but still I want to make some changes that I can do by pressing whichever options I want. Like I want a gradient in that sky. So how will I do that? By pressing linear gradient, and it will create a new mask. So this is the advantage of the Photoshop, that you can work on the layers, and even in the raw filter settings you can work on the new mask. So this can also work like a layers, right? In this I will make a gradient. By pressing shift you can make a proper accurate gradient like this, and show overlay will show you the which area that will get affected. Okay, now I know which area I want to work on, so I'll off that, and I can make some changes in the exposure if I want to, or contrast a little bit. Maybe highlights can be reduced, shadows can also stay down. Whites and blacks I don't want to play with. Maybe black, let's see. Wow, this gives a good effect. Now temperature, let's see. So if we go all the way till blue, the sky becomes blue and we might lose that sunset wala effect. So something like this. And in the tint, I'll put some magenta color. Wow, that is fine. Saturation, maybe I'll just add something, but I won't play with it. That is fine. We'll name this mask as sky because we have made some changes on sky, and I will select one more mask. I'll take one more mask or brush. I will brush the area of this grass and tree. I know this we have already made green, but let's say I want to make some other changes too. I can increase or decrease the size of brush from here, and I can make the feathers more soft, maybe this, and flow might be like this. Perfect. So just fill in into this, maybe flow some more. See, this will be the areas that will get affected. It's not going to be red, don't worry. We haven't made any adjustments on it till now, but we will make it further. See, now this area will get affected when we will make some adjustments. So this was the overlay, right? Now I'll just turn it off and we'll make some changes in it. I can even change the exposure. Wow, see, isn't this magical? Little bit of contrast, just a little bit. Highlights I can improve. Shadows, maybe yes, more dark. Shadows, yes, more lit up. And some whites, blacks, because this area is in black, this is in shadows. So, and then temperature, something like this. Yeah, perfect. And tint, I don't want to make this more green, but a little bit magentish. Saturation, very little. That's it. Now I want to show you this curve option. Curve thing helps you in the tonal contrast of the color, where this side represents the brighter pixels and this side represents the darker pixel. On y-axis, this upward actually adds the color, and this down side of y-axis subtracts the color. Like this is subtracting what? Darker pixel and making it more darker, subtracting. And if I want to add that, I can do like this. And this way and from here I am just making that bright pixels a little bit towards darker side. That is fine. In curves, you will get 3 more channels, that is red, green and blue. Remember, red is the opposite of cyan, green is the opposite of magenta, and blue is the opposite of yellow. In green color, maybe I want to add some, make it a little bit towards magentish, and increase the brighter area towards green, like this. And this is the standard S curve. I can play with the texture a bit. I'll make it more clear, just a little bit, and dehaze. See how beautifully this is bringing the details in the image. I can make it a little bit sharpen, not more. That's all right. And we will rename this mask to with grass. First words, sky. Okay, now here's the before, here is the after. In the sky, here's the before, here's the after. All right, now I'll add one more mask of the brush, and see, the sun is here, and there are some highlights which I can retain and which will look really beautiful. And I will just do dabbing on some parts, maybe somewhere here also, here in this part. All right, now I will make some changes on it. Maybe I can decrease the exposure and just increase the highlights and some white. All right, see, we got a very small effect, but this will look beautiful. And I'll name it highlights. Now we will go back to edit from here. Here, whatever the effects that you will apply from basic curves, details or color grading, these options right here, that effect will be applied on the entire image. What we just did, we just selected the portion, some portion like grass or tree or the hills or the sky, and there we have made some changes. Now whatever the changes we will make, that will be applied on the entire image. Okay, so let's start with the basic. Here I can make some changes in the temperature. Okay, look at this, look at this, this is changing like this. All right, now exposure we can just decrease. See the drama that this image is creating. We'll just increase exposure a bit and increase the contrast too. And now, wow, I want to decrease the highlights from the sky a little bit, and some shadow can be retained in the whites. We'll make some changes in the blacks. See, look at the grass, look at this dark areas, this is changing. All right, we'll just reduce some whites and some highlights too. That's it. Some texture can be added for the grass and for the trees, not very much, otherwise it will look like a painting. We want some depth. Let's put this dehaze, try to decrease a bit, or yeah, this is fine. Vibrance. In detail you can even sharpen this image more, but that is fine. See the changes that we have made just now. This was the before, and this is the after. Now we can even color grade it a little bit. I'll increase the shadow. Highlights all can also stay. Okay, now this is for me is the fine image. You can see the before and after. See, this was before and this is after. Hit OK. Everything looks fine, but there is no sun. Sun is absent in the photo. So what we will do, we will fake a sun in this photo. So how to get that sun? Go to adjustment layers, and from here choose this gradient option. Take gradient, and what is the color of the sun? Also take the gradient that is from foreground to transparent. That means the opaque to transparent. Double click on this to change the color of the sun, or just single click on this and change the sun color. Sun looks a bit yellow, this is fine. And when it will be fading, that time it's good to add some red, maybe this one. Hit OK, and now hit OK again. sun is a circular, right? So we don't want it linear, but style should be radial. I know this is not looking like a sun, but hold on a minute, we'll make it. Decrease the scale a bit if you want to. Maybe 46 is fine. Yeah, this is the fine position for it. Hit OK and change the blending mode from normal to color dodge, and you can adjust the projection of it by decreasing the fill, not the opacity, but by fill. Okay, opacity a little bit, maybe no, 100 is fine. That's it. Now we want to create the atmosphere for the sun. And how to do that? Again, by going to adjustment layer, take a gradient again, click on this gradient slider here and choose some orange color. Orange color, yeah, good. And here some magenta or some color. Let's pick color from here. That's it. Hit OK. Now again from linear to radial, place it here and you can change the scale like this. Now the blending mode will change from normal to screen. You can still make changes even in this. And now group these two layers by pressing Ctrl G and rename it sun. So this is the before, this is the after. A fit screen view, this is the before, this is the after. So this was it for this session, and we'll meet again in the next session and learn how to edit a portrait, color grade it, and then we'll learn how to create a film poster. Thank you.